that great old kingdom of yours for the whole world to see. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shemaiah is right, yeah. Shabbat shalom. Yahuwah is one. Let's celebrate him now. Shabbat shalom. For the battle is already won. Oh, yes it is. Whoa, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
were gone forth out of the land of Israel. The same day came they into the wilderness of Sinai, for they were departed from Rephidim, and were come to the desert of Sinai, and had pitched in the wilderness, and there Yasharel camped before the mountain. And Shemaiah went up unto Elohim, and Yah called unto him out of the mountain, saying, Thus shalt thou say to the house of Yaakov, and tell the children of Yasharel, You have seen what I did unto the Mizraimites, and how I bore the eagle's wings, and brought you unto myself. Kodesh nation, these are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Yasharel.
Sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. Sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah.
Have mercy upon us, O Father, according to your loving kindness, according to the multitude of your tender mercy. Blot out our transgressions. Wash us thoroughly from our iniquity and cleanse us from our sins. For we acknowledge our transgressions, and our sins are ever before us. Against you and you alone, Yahweh, have we sinned and done this evil in your sight, that you might be justified when you speak and be clear when you judge. Behold, we were shapen in iniquity, and in sin did our imams conceive us. Behold, you desire truth in the inward part, and in the hidden part you shall make us to know wisdom. Purge us, Father, Yah, with hyssop, and we shall be clean. Wash us, and we shall be whiter than snow. Make us to hear joy and gladness, that the bones which you have broken may rejoice. Hide your face from our sins and blot out all of our transgressions. Create in us a clean heart, O Yahweh, and renew a right spirit within us. Cast us not away from your presence, Father, and spirit from us. Restore unto us the joy of your salvation, and uphold us with your free spirit. Then will we teach transgressors your ways, and sinners shall be converted unto you. Deliver us, O Yahweh, from blood guiltless, Yahweh of our salvation, and our tongues shall sing aloud of your righteousness. Oh Yahweh, open you our lips, and our mouths shall show forth your praise. For you desire not sacrifice, else we would give it. You delight not in burnt offering. The sacrifices of Yahweh are a broken spirit, are broken in a heart of contrition. Yahweh, you will not despise. Do good in your good pleasure unto Zion, and build you the walls of Yerushalayim. And let all those, Father Yah, who at the sound of my voice, believe all that which was spoken, all that which we do this day to honor you, Father Yah. Say with a loud and clear voice, hallelujah, 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 Toda Yah, Toda Yah. Amen. Amen.
Shabbat shalom. Let me see if I can do this again. Man. I'm want to say blessed Shabbat to everybody that's here. I don't want to make this about me, but not feeling good today. I've been battling with a germ I got last first day I went out to work, and I generally don't pick up passengers. I generally started doing something else, and I let my guards down because I had removed my glass that I have in my vehicle because I was pretty much done with transporting people. And I got a call from somebody, and he said, I need you to take this person somewhere. Well, this person was hacking and coughing the whole ride. And I woke up the next day. I was having chills and everything. So this week's been kind of rough. You can hear it in my voice. I'm self-employed, so if I take off from work, I don't get paid. So I was off probably 2.5 days this week. I didn't work. So not saying that to get sympathy or anything, but just speaking the truth. I'm here on my posts. And also, I was contemplating this week about maybe just premiering our Shabbat lessons instead of doing them live. And one person saved the day. At Moray Josiah, he was like, you should keep going on the live stream. So I guess that was the Most High speaking to him, through him to me. Because, we all human brothers and sisters. We have human feelings and so forth. And I think sometimes people fail to realize that a moray or leader of a camp is human. Just a little side note. We have some quotes we're gonna play. I did a primo last night, but people are merciless. And when leaders fall, they fall hard. Unlike a lay person, right? Person that doesn't lead a congregation can fall. Nobody will know nothing about it. But when a leader when a leader falls, the whole world knows. Everybody want to put them on blast, right? And so I did a video with regards to Guerrilla Hebrew, and every now and then you'll get some radical Hebrew who just want to just do the man in, you know. And we don't have to condone sin to have mercy, to have compassion on people, pulling them out of the fire. Because sometimes a leader could be just so caught up. And I speak from experience. Sometimes the leader could be caught up and just lose sight of things, right? So when we expose people, right, we have to ask, are we doing it right? Or are we doing it because we're trying to get hits on our channel? Or are we doing it because we want to have revenge against a leader that did something to me or to a loved one of mine? So all that's important, right? So we want to be very careful how we handle people. Let me just kind of, some of you all greeted already on the stream. Now, where's my, oh my goodness, I got rid of my, hold on a second. I have to pull it back up so I can see comments. Preferably it's going to get better. I'm still under the weather. Let me see. What was it? Restream. Ugh. Y'all pray for your brother, boy. I'm telling you. I'm having to struggle this morning. I really am. Let me see. I took some pills last night to help me sleep. I actually slept good, but because the pill just kind of put me out, I can't see the comments because I closed out the screen. So let's see. I did see some comments while I was prepping. Hold on a second here. I'm gonna have to do it a different way. I'm gonna have to look at my let's see. I can't see the comments. Well, let me just do this here. Let me just greet everybody that says Shabbat Shalom, because I know some of y'all, I know Light to the Gentiles greeted, and Elias Stone did. I'm not sure who else did after that because comments went out. But no, I think I think that Light said something about ads. No, those ads don't pay nothing. They don't really pay nothing. I just do that because, hey, every little bit helps, you know. So please pardon the commercials. It's not my intentions to make you have to be inconvenienced and click out, right? I do it. Most videos nowadays, you're gonna find that that's a common thing now with people monetizing the channels. You're gonna find people that's going to monetize, and you're gonna see commercials. I mean, we all do it. So if it's, you know, given to us the right to do it, I could remove monetizing the channel away. But hey, people not giving, so hey, I have to do whatever I can do to try to add to cover my expenses. So just bear with that. All right, now let me go right in here to our Black History clips. So let's tune into our Black History clips. I gotta get myself, hold on a second, I gotta get myself out of this picture right quick. Okay.
This is our Black History quotes from the scholars. for white eyes only. Did you know that slavery was forced on our people because of rejecting Christianity? Let's take a look and see what the scholars have to say. The American Bible Union is controlled by its slave-holding members. So are the societies to convert the Yahudim, the so-called Negroes, the Indians, etc. The slave-holding, slave-countenancing religion of America has lost its resemblance to Christianity proper. We recognize between these religions the widest possible difference, so wide that to receive the one as good, pure, and Kodesh is of necessity to reject the other as bad, corrupt, and wicked. To call the slave-holding, slavery-countenancing religion the religion of Christianity must be looked upon as the climax of all misnomers, the boldest of all frauds, and the grossest of all libels. Yes, it is regarded as a crime to teach a slave to read the Bible in this Christian land, this land of Sabbaths and ministers and Bibles and slaves. William Armistead, 500,000 Strokes for Freedom. Copyright 1853, page 6. And the next quote is, "The nation of the Yahudim, after the destruction of the city and temple of Jerusalem, were brought into miserable bondage and captivity and dispersed throughout the whole world. The Christians, partly through fear of the rage of the Yahudim, and partly through an interpreted zeal for the Christianity, have endeavored either wholly to destroy by various miseries this dispersed people, or to tire them out by the grievousness and length of their miseries, and thus to compel them to profess the Christian faith." History of the Inquisition, Philip Van Limborg and Samuel Chandler. Copyright 1731, page 94 and 95. And the next quote is, "Can anyone believe that these people speak seriously, who by so many methods cruelly distress the Yahudim, that they may force them, thus broken by miseries of which they see no end, to embrace the Christian religion? Sometimes also they have openly persecuted the Yahudim and compelled them to become Christians. Cephas Cavicius relates from Cindrinus under the year of 722 that Leo, the emperor, forced the Yahudim to embrace Christianity, but that they afterwards either renounced their baptism or shut themselves up in the houses and burnt themselves with all their families." History of the Inquisition, Philip Van Limborg and Samuel Chandler, copyright 1731, page 97. And the next quote is, "The Portuguese that dwelt on this island informed the Netherlanders that few lived above 50 years there, yet notwithstanding the great gain tempted them to tarry. Several of them having 200 or 300 Negroes that worked in the sugar mills, that John III, King of Portugal, sent a colony thither above 200 years before, whom through the unwholesome air destroyed. Yet the place was not left desolate, for he sent new inhabitants, who first settled in Guinea, next in Angola, and lastly on the island of St. Thomas, that so they might be better used to the air that the said king sold all those Yahudim for slaves that refused to embrace the Roman religion, and caused their children to be baptized, from whom coming thither in great numbers, most of the present inhabitants were descended. America being an accurate description by John Ogilvy. Copyright 1670, page 574. This concludes our reading of our Black History quotes from the scholars for white eyes only. May Yah bless you on this blessed Shabbat. Shabbat Shalom.
Sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah.
All right. All right. Shabbat Shalom, brothers and sisters. We're going to go ahead and get started. Just bear with me today, brothers and sisters. I'm sluggish. So people are offering their advice. And believe me, I'm an herbalist myself. So I had my guard down because I had ran out of my supply, and because I said that I wasn't going to transport people anymore, I had run out of my supply, and so my immune system was like 2 days out. So that's so appreciate the wisdom, but yeah, I'm very much up on my herbs and stuff like that. So just sometimes things happen for a reason, you know. You know, it wasn't my intentions to run out and to have somebody in my vehicle that's sick the same 2 days later, but it is what it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started for today's. I saw an error message here on the screen. Okay. I got my right hand man, Moray Josiah, down there at the bottom of the screen. You see him on the bottom of the screen. It's something that I think it was 2020. I think it was. Let's tap Pesach 2020. Pesach coming up. For all you Hebrews that keep Pesach, the year of the new moon, the new year. So officially, from a technical standpoint, it's a new year. Praise y'all. Man, y'all pray for me. I feel weak. Hold on a second. I got my body's going through changes right now. Hold on one second. Be right back.
We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant.
Okay, let's try to do this again. I had to get some H2O. Now, whew. Yeah, that's Lake Michigan. That's right. Let's see. Now let's get started in let's go to this link right here. And we're going to kind of read a little bit to the best of our ability. Let's put this link in the description here. This is our source, the James Woods, John Brown, encyclopedia under John Brown and James Wood. Okay, this is John Brown. I thought this was James Wood. I'm getting my dictionaries mixed up. But let's see. Where'd it go? Hold on a second, brothers and sisters. Okay, right here. We're going to just read a little bit. And we're going to read a little bit. And let's see. Oh my. Hold on a second. Okay. All right. Okay, I had to put myself back on the screen. All right, now So Esau, we're going to talk about Esau's voyage because we've proven already through this series that Esau is not a whole nation of white people. That is a doctrine that has been debunked, not just from this channel, but from other people that are scholars when it comes to the historical dynamic, even from the biblical dynamic. If you just use the Bible, you can't get Esau being the white man out of just using the Bible, unless you take and twist with your doctrine and you do your what you call precept. So Esau is not the so-called white man. So let's just put that in the trash can, right where it belongs, right? All right, now my vault is not working. Now why is my vault not working? Like that, because I want to put them in the trash can. Hold on a second. Let's see why this ain't playing. Okay, let's cancel this here. I don't know what's going on here with my stuff. Door vault. That's what it's called, right? Why is it not playing? Let's try it again. There we go. That's what I wanted right there. After that, let's do that again. So we're gonna put that doctrine in the trash can. That's it. Done. Esau's not the white man. I challenge anybody to a debate. Anybody. Any camp leader that wanna debate me on whether Esau's a white man, do it. You ain't gonna do it because y'all afraid. Y'all got fear in your heart. All these people that wanna somebody came in last week and commented, it was a sister. And when I commented back, she didn't come back. Right? Because y'all know that doctrine, Esau, the white man, got so many holes in it that if you threw it in the ocean, it would sink to the bottom of the ocean. It's garbage. It don't belong in the Hebrew Israelite teachings. It's a false, foolish, stupid, idiocentric doctrine. It's based off of hatred for white people. And some of y'all are so stupid, don't even realize that if you do your DNA, you are condemning some of your own cousins. You got white people in your family, right? So why would you damn? I know a brother. He's a family member. His mother is a European. So when he started with that, I said, so is your mother an Edomite? You believe that doctrine? He's stammering and stammering. I said, that's your mother. That's your mother. Is she a damn dog, as you say? He looked at me like, well, don't be stuttering now. You embracing that false doctrine that Esau, the white man, is a dog, and your mother is an Edomite. So how you like me now? He ended the conversation. He didn't want to talk no more about it. And come to say that people that believe in that nonsense, man, it's full of fallacies, right? Like I asked this one brother, I said, I said, so you don't believe the Esau is the Esau can be saved, right? He said, no, Esau can't be saved. I said, so let me ask you a question. I said, would you elaborate on, and I said, I want you to read it. I don't want to read it. I want you to read it, and I want you to tell me what you think about that. And I took him to Deuteronomy where it says, thou shalt not abhor an Edomite, for he is thy brother. And the sons of them can enter, or shall enter, not can, shall enter. Right? And I asked him, could you explain that to me? He said, I don't have an answer for that. You don't have an answer for that? Wait a minute, your whole doctrine is teaching that Esau can't be saved, Esau is the devil, all of that. But here Torah's telling you something totally different than what your camp teaches. How do you explain that, brother? From the scripture. And he just looked at it, kept looking at the past, kept looking, and he was shaking it, kept looking, and he said, I don't know how to explain it. That comes to show you, people follow these false doctrines because they have hatred in their heart, and they want to have a legitimate, which is an illegitimate excuse to hate white people. That's the only reason why they want to make Esau the white man, because they want to hate white people and use the Bible to justify hatred, right? Now, to comprehend Esau's voyages, right, we have to know who did Esau marry. So let's go to that link that I gave you. And I want to skip, you can read that whole article. I want to go to the part where, right here, where it says, when Esau was 40 years old, right here, okay? Can you all see it? Let me blow this up a little bit. Okay, that's good. Right here. When Esau was 40 years old, he, to the great grief of his parents, married 2 wicked women of Canaan. Why were they wicked? Let me ask a question. Why were they wicked? Anybody have any answers to that question? Why were the Canaanite women wicked? Or not just women, but Canaanites, period. Why were they wicked? Would you believe me if I tell you that we have some Canaanites amongst the Israelites? Let me say that again. Somebody missed that. If you have, if you've done your ancestry DNA, and listen, y'all better listen here. Y'all better listen, because we already covered it in the previous lesson. If you've done your ancestry DNA and it shows that you have Native American ancestry, you know what that means? Right? You got some Canaanite DNA. Oh man, you got some Canaanite DNA, because we covered that, and we went to the chronology of ancient kingdoms, and we read from the America being an accurate description, where they said that the Phoenicians voyaged to this part of the world first. So most in general, we'll do a series on that in the future, but the Phoenicians populated the globe through their trade. Some of those people that traveled the globe with the Phoenicians, right, were Edomites. We covered that last week, right? We're gonna talk about it a little more. Phoenicians and Edomites are interchangeable, right? So Canaanites were the families that Esau married into, right? So they were the ones that traveled the globe. They settled in Europe, right? So the camps want to make the blacks that was in Europe to be Japheth, or as Maury Josiah says, Japhat. No, they wasn't Japhat. They was Ham, right? We can go off into a whole nother arena and talking about the Neanderthals, however you want to call them, right? Did you know the original Neanderthals were black? Okay, I'm going too deep for some people, so I quote Gates of Huldah. She got a real good teaching on that. That sister, she be putting her foot down, man. I'm telling you, Gates of Huldah be hitting it. I sound like a star. It's two sisters in this walk that I have great admiration for in their research. That's she's not nationally known in the Hebrew community, but her name is Shaloma, and she's the wife of the late Micaiah in Evanston, Illinois. But that sister go in deep too. But Gates of Huldah, that sister ain't no joke, man. She be doing her homework. I'd like to have a chat with her one day. That sister, she's she's on the money, man, when it comes to that research, right? Okay, so now Esau, to understand or comprehend Esau's voyages, you got to comprehend the people that Esau intermarried with, right? So now back to the reference here. So Esau, it says Esau hold on a second. I got a draft. Going through changes, bro. It's just get hot and then I get cold. All right. Let's see. Where was it? So Esau, let's go back here. Esau was 40 years old. He, to the great grief of his parents, married two wicked women of Canaan. Now, I asked the question. I don't know if anybody responded or not yet, but I asked, why was the Canaanites wicked? Okay. So the answer to that is they worshiped many deities. And what makes them different than the Cushites in Babylon, right? It wasn't no different. They from the same stock, okay? From the same father, right? But Canaan was the one that was cursed, right? The Canaanites took the adultery or idolatry to a whole nother level, right? They've given us terminologies like Bible, right? Bible is a word that comes from a Canaanite deity called Bibla. Did you know that? Okay. So in the language that we speak, right, that we got from the Canaanite dialect, even in the Hebraic, you got the deity El, right? You got Ra. All of that is in the language. They made deities out of different expressions in the language, right? Arthur Hislop's Two Babylons is a good reference to read on stuff like that. So Esau married the Canaanites, right? Now, we covered already in the previous lesson that Esau married Canaanites, and so did Israel. So for those that hold the doctrine that Esau, the Canaanites were white because Emmons, the giants, was in the land, and the giants was Nephilim, right? Maybe they were. Okay. That's a good class. I like to sit in and hear a person go in on. But I've heard people with that point of view that the giants were the Nephilim. Hey, I'm not doubting it. So the giants was in the land and they existed, right? Okay, now, so Esau went and married the Canaanites, right? Two wicked women, Canaanite, Yehudith, the daughter of Bari the Hittite, and the other Adah, or Bashmeth, the daughter of Elon the Hittite. So it's interesting because this name Bashmeth, I guess it was two women named Bashmeth. One was Esau's Bashmeth and another one was a Hittite Bashmeth. Interesting, right? But daughter of Elon the Hittite. About 30 years after Isaac, apprehending himself near death, intended to give Esau the last benediction to render it more tender, he ordered Esau to procure him from venison and dress to his taste. Okay, so y'all, you know the story about Esau selling his birthright. Okay, now what I want to do is, so we have to comprehend that Esau married Canaanite women. So to comprehend the voyage, right, there was a partnership with Canaanite people, right? So wherever the Canaanite people went, it's kind of like a family reunion. You know how you have on your father's side, you have a family, and on your mother's side, you have a family, right? So Esau on his father's side was a Hebrew, right? On his mother's side, the children were Canaanites. So they attended the Canaanite family reunions and stuff. So they had family in different areas and regions, right? Where the Canaanites voyaged, right? Okay. So now we comprehend that. We're going to show you some stuff in a minute. All right, now I want to go down in this same article and let's skip down here to this is on page 401. Okay, 401 writes, okay, let's start. Let's see if we find a good start right here. Meanwhile, that's in the middle of the thought, isn't it? Okay, right here. Meanwhile, finding his former marriages were too disagreeable to his parents, he, to please them and to ascertain his title to what had been promised to Abraham, took to wife Mahalath, or Basemath, they go the other Basemath, right? The daughter of Ishmael, and removing from his parents to Mount Seir, where the remnant of the Horites then lived, he married Aholibamah, right? Now, what I want to do is, so Ishmael, we already covered that he married Canaanite women, okay? In addition to that, he had a Ishmaelite daughter as a wife as well. Okay. Now, remember last week we covered, let's see if I can bring it up real quick. Last week we covered Arabia, right? And I had a sister, she want to go and he always got some sisters who are out of control, who want to be a man, but say they're not trying to be a man because they're being aggressive, right? A woman that's aggressive is a character of a man. You know, that's not a character of a woman. And I'm not even coming from a biblical standpoint. An aggressive spirit, that's a character of a man, right? So when you come at me with an aggressive spirit and you're a female, I don't know how to deal with you because I'm not used to women coming at me being aggressive. Because in a man's world, when a woman comes at a man aggressive, and violent, it makes that man respond physically, naturally, before he can think. Right? I'm ready to knock you out. And see, a man and a woman are not the same. Okay? So when you come aggressive, you out of your place. Right? So I had a sister that came at me aggressively last week because she's really so gung-ho on that Esau being the white man doctrine, and she coming forth. And every now and then, I'm not like that, but every now and then when I get a woman that's aggressive like that, I throw some Paul at her. Then they get upset. Then they leave me alone, right? Because most of them believe Paul's teaching anyway. So when you all go off to that, the woman be silent. Let the woman learn in silence. So if you're a sister, don't come at me aggressively, because we're going to have a battle. Because my character, I am a ram. And rams will bump you with that horn and knock you in the woods somewhere, and you won't even know what happened to you, right? So don't come at me like that. If you're a sister, come at me like a sister. Question. Don't come at me attacking me, because it ain't gonna be pretty. Right? Now, I think I said that well enough. Now, I lost my place when I was trying to go see y'all. Y'all done got me to meddling now. Y'all done got me to meddling. Rather than quit preaching and went to meddling. Okay. What I want to do is, I'm going to give you this link. We did last week. We're just going to kind of go over it quick, right? Oh, man. Father, help me today. I'm coming and going, some brothers and sisters. I'm coming and going today. I'm trying to get my help. Maybe my help will come. Let's see. Let's put this here. We're going to cover. Okay, let's see. Let's see. We got some comments here. Let's see. Y'all commenting today. Let me see. It's strong how you show up every Shabbat even when you feel sick. Yeah. Hey, I gotta do it. Wear a mask. It really helps guard you. Stock up on immune boosters. I pray for your recovery soon. Oh yeah, I appreciate that, right? Sillier than white Jesus, Brother Dallas. Shabbat shalom, my brother. I made an art of ship full of holes and called it Esau. Light to the Gentile just made me laugh. He said he made a ship full of holes and called it the Esau is the white man doctrine. That's funny. It also allows Hebrews to be white. Yes, that's correct. Coach Thomas, Princess Leah says, get some vitamin D, 10,000 IU. Okay. Dollars, you mean the names ain't Hebrews? If some of them, the natives, if some of them have the Edomite DNA, they would be Hebrews, but they're not Israelites. Okay, Sister Gates of Holder is the truth. Yep. Oh yeah, she is. Where were idol worshippers. That's right. Okay, he answered. I got answers coming in now. Afro-Asiatic says, peace. One can't understand Hebrew without Arabic. I'm not trying to challenge you, just speaking linguistics and facts. Afro-Asiatic. Well, let me ask you a question. Off the cuff. He said one can't understand Hebrew without Arabic. Okay. Now, did Arabic come before Hebrew? Because your statement, you're saying that you can't understand Hebrew first. I'm not going to be technical, but Hebrew is the English transliteration of Ibri, right? So Ibri, right, came before Arabic. So how would you need to know Arabic to comprehend Ibri? I don't get that. Okay. Maybe we'll do a series on Islam and Arabic and Muslims to find out that those people were our oppressors. You do know that, don't you? They were the first oppressors before the Europeans got a hand of the transatlantic slave trade. Our first oppressors were our brothers. That's the reason for we doing the series. In Psalms 83, all those people were not white people, right? The great conspirators, they were black people. Moabites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites, right? They hated Israel. And so they tried to force their religion on us. Islam was forced on us by the enslavers, my brother. So the language of Arabic is a language that was forced on us in our captive history. Okay, now. Yeah, that's her. Yeah, Yahweh. Yeah, that's her channel. Gates, Sister Gates Holder. Let's see. Yeah, line price is get D3, 3K, 10K unit. Okay, all right. And if somebody want to mail it to me, hey, y'all got some good ideas. Mail me some of these remedies. Okay. All right. I'm not being smart. I'm just saying people got good ideas. See, my thing is this. I'm going to tell you. Sometimes people in the world treat you better than people in the covenant. I have a sister, Christian sister. And she told me, I'm going to give this to you. She was one of my passengers. She said, because you around people, she said, I'm giving this to you. And she gave me some redaxin with the zinc in it. And that's what I've been taking until I ran out. And I've been remaining without getting sick until I ran out. I ran out of redaxin. Okay. So she didn't tell me go to the store and get it. She said, here, I'm gonna give it to you. So you know what to look for. She gave it to me. All right. If we look at Abigail, married a Cudderite, Abiel, an Ishmaelite, Torah gives us good guidance if we look closely. Okay. It seemed like to me, Afro-Asia, you want to teach a class. You was like that last week. We don't need your help, brother, to teach the class. All right. If you want it, I said that last week. You said you're not in here to build your channel. But if you want to build your channel, let me know. We'll help you to build your channel. This is not the place for you to build your channel here. All right. That's right. Lion Pride said that right. Okay, now let me get back in here before I was interrupted here. Okay, so where's it at here? We got a lot of stuff to cover in a little bit of time. All right, now Let's see. Hold on a second. Let's go back out of here. Okay, so now what I was trying to do was trying to go here to this. So we talked about last week right here. That link I just gave, Arabia, right? Is it Arabia Petra? It says that Arabia was divided into three parts, right? So Arabia Petra. Let's blow this up a little bit. Arabia Petra, or the Rocky, on the northwest, which is now called Hejaz. So now, this is the one that want to attack me because I said it wasn't called Arabia Petra, it was called Mount Sierra. Listen, Dodo Brain. People change the names of places. So she wanted to throw a shot and say I wasn't correct. See, if you need to go somewhere and listen to your husband and get out of my face, that's what you need to do. Don't rub. I'm telling you, sisters. I'm telling you, I'm the most pliable person when it comes to women. But when somebody is out the pocket and come at me wrong, whoo! And I'm not a person going to let you push over on me, whether you male or female. But these sisters, some of these sisters are out of place. Right? Don't come at me like that. Right? Call yourself correcting me. Because I'll slice you up with the same book that you gave me, that you came at me with. And then I'll slice your husband up for letting you come at me with that arrogant spirit. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. Don't play with me like that. Hurt your feelings. All right. Now, where was I at before I was interrupted? Okay. So Arabia is divided into three parts. Arabia Petra on the Rocky on the northwest, which is now called Hejaz. In the fourth west part of the now stand the famed city of Mecca and Medina, so much visited by the Mohammedan pilgrims. This division contained the land of Edom with the wilderness of Paran and the land of Cushan, and it seems to have been first called Arabia, right? From its westernly situation or its mixed tribes which inhabit it, right? So there you go. So now, it said that rocky part, right? What I had mentioned last week was in Obadiah, when it says, "O thou that dwell in the cleft of the rock." He was talking about that land that's called the rock. Okay. All right. She was trying to rebuke me and correct me because that whole territory is not called Mount Sierra. Okay. It's not, that whole territory is not called Mount Sierra. It was never called, the whole territory was never called Mount Sierra. So that's where you're wrong, my sister that challenged me last week. That whole territory we just showed you is not called the whole territory. Only a piece of that was called Mount Sierra. Okay, now we're going to cover that in this lesson. All right, now. Second part, Arabia Deserta, which lays easterly of Canaan, and comprehended the land of Uz, of Ammon, Moab, Midian, with the country of the Iturians and the Hagarenes, right? So the second part of that is where we see Canaanites, we see Uz, that's where Job came from. Job was an Edomite, okay? A whole book. All y'all that hate Esau, you gotta chew on that. Job was from the land of Uz. He was a Edomite. All right. No, he wasn't, brother. Yes, he was. Now, Arabia, so it says Uz, Ammon, Moab, Midian, with the country of Iturians and Hagarenes. So all these people we find in Psalms 83 were in that land, and they were what? Black. They weren't white. Edomites was not. Ammon and Moab was not China and Japan. Did some Israelites go to China and Japan? Yes, just like the Phoenicians and the Canaanites did. They went across the globe, right? Some voyaged out, and some were enslaved, right? Okay, let's go back in. So now, so there you're going to have Edomites as well as Israelites in voyages, because they've ventured to different parts of the world. Right now, is it possible that some of the Chinese or Japanese have Hebrew or Hebrew, whether it be Israelite or whether it be Edomite DNA? Yep, very possible. Okay. Matter of fact, it's been proven there are some Israelites and Edomites in China and Japan. Okay. But China and Japan as a nation is not Moab and Ammon. You're going to make every Chinese person and every Japanese person be Moab and Ammon? No, you can't do that, brother. Just like you can't make every so-called white person an Edomite. Can't do it. All right. Not on my watch, you're not going to do it. I'm going to challenge that all day long right now. Let's see, where was I here? Okay, so we have that. Now, the third one is Arabia. We didn't cover this one last week. Arabia Felix or Happy on the south of the two former. So the southernmost part of the two former, the last seems to have been called Kadim, or the east by the Hebrews. Scarcely any part of Arabia is well watered, but Arabia Felix is famed for vast numbers of fine species of fruits. Arabia Felix seems to have been chiefly peopled by numerous family of Joktan, right? There you go. Boom. So every Arab is not an Ishmaelite, right? All right. He just told you that some of them came from Joktan, and Joktan is from the family of who? The family of Shem, right? So just for confirmation, let's go to Genesis 10, right? And we're gonna go down to Shem, right? So this is verse 22. The children of Shem, right? Now I'm gonna go down right here. It said, unto Eber, verse 25, were born two sons. The name of one was Peleg, for in his days was the earth divided, and his brother's name was Joktan, right? So Joktan was a Hebrew, right? Eber were born two sons, Peleg and Joktan, right? You see that? So Joktan was a Hebrew. So those people in Saudi Arabia, for the most part, are Hebrews. They're not Ishmaelites, as some ascribe. Some of them are in the mix. Some of them are actually, in fact, Moabites, as we just showed you. Some of them are Ammonites, right? They are not all, as in most Hebrew circles teach, that all the Arabs are Ishmaelites. That's not true. That's showing a person who haven't done their research. You can't make every Arab an Ishmaelite, because they're not. Because the Ishmaelites settled in one place, right? And they're the ones, a specific line of them partnered with the Hebrews, but the others had animosity, and they were the ones that were instrumental in the trans-Saharan, they call the Arab slave trade, right? Now, so Joktan, a descendant of Shem, and other parts seem to have been originally inhabited by Rephaims, the Emims, right? And the Zamzumims, the Amalekites, and the Horites, and other descendants of Cush. So now, what most people don't know is that you had Amalekites before you had Esau. Let me say that again. You have Amalekites before you had Esau And then you have Esau, who had a son named Amalek. So when you are reading the biblical text, you have to comprehend which Amalekite are you making reference to. Are you making reference to the descendants of Esau, Amalek, as Amalekites, or are you making reference to the other Amalek that came from Ham? Right? Two different people. Okay. So in this particular case, he's talking about not the descendants of Esau, but these are Amalekites that pre-existed, right? Before there was Esau. So you got Amalekites and Horites. So now, Esau sojourned in the land of the Horite, right? So if you go to Esau's lineage, you'll find out that he talks about dukes, and he mentions a particular seed that came from the Horite. They weren't Esau's children, right? But they were descendants of the Canaanite stock. Okay, so now you have the Horites and other descendants of Cush, right? So Cush covered, you go through Genesis chapter 10. Let's do it real quick. Go to Genesis chapter 10, Table of Nations, and you will see the Cush. So go up to Cush, right? And verse 8, it says, Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be mighty one in the earth. He was mighty hunter before Yah. Okay, now, so he talked about, so we already know about that his kingdom was in Asher and Babel and Nineveh, right? But then it says, let me see, where's Cush at? Cush, okay, I want to go back up here. Verse 7, I missed it. Verse 7 says, the sons of Cush, Seba, right, there you go. Seba, Havilah, right? These two here, Seba and Havilah, are Cushites that dwell, where they dwell at? They dwelled in the same land where the Moabites, Ammonites, Edomites, and all of them were there, where the Joktanites, all those people in what we call Saudi Arabia or the Arabian country, right? All those were Arabs. They were not all Ishmaelites. They were all Arabs, right? So you have Cushites down there too, right? From Seba, right? The land of Sheba, Queen of Sheba, didn't come from Ethiopia, the west part Ethiopia, but she came from that territory where Midianites lived. They call that the Seba or Ethiopia. Okay, now let's go back in here. All right. So I want to go back here to Arabia. So parts of Arabia, and I know this is a lot, right? So that's why I'm writing a book, because you're not gonna get all this by this short video. All right, now, where was that here? Okay, so you have the where's that here? You have the Cushites. The Cushites right here. The Cushites were gradually expelled by the descendants of Nahor, Lot, and Abraham. See that? The Cushites were gradually expelled by the descendants of Nahor, Lot, and Abram. So if they were expelled, where did they go? Huh? They went to a new land that became known as the Neo-Ethiopia or Neo-Cush. That would be the western part of Ethiopia. They were kicked out of their homeland, right? And they went west into the interior of Africa, and that's why you have that country today called Ethiopia, because their predecessors came from Arabia, right? They pushed west and settled in Ethiopia and Eritrea. Okay, now we're gonna cover that in a minute. Okay, now, but they gradually spread themselves at least into the whole parts of Arabia. And I went too far. Wait a minute, let me go up here. The Cushites were gradually expelled by the descendants of Nahor, Lot, and Abraham. Ishmael, so the descendants of Abraham, Esau would be a descendant of Abraham, right? Okay. So between the Edomites and the Ishmaelites, they drove out. It says descendants of Nahor, Lot, Abraham drove them out. Ishmael first settled in Hejaz, right? And formed 12 powerful tribes of what? Nabateans, right? So let me read that again. Back it up. Ishmael first settled in Hejaz and formed 12 powerful tribes of the Nabateans. One more time. Ishmael first settled in Hejaz and formed 12 powerful tribes of Nabateans, Kedarines, and Hagarenes, right? Okay, the tents of Kedar. Remember, see, y'all think I'm stupid. When you read Song of Solomon, what was the Queen of Sheba talking about? I am as the tents of Kedar. What was she talking about? Her homeland, not Ethiopia, the new Neo-Ethiopia that we see on the map today, the Ethiopia that's right there in the Saudi Arabian area. That was the home, right? Original home of the Ethiopians, that particular Sheba, right? Because the other Ethiopia had Babylon, right? That was Cush's son Nimrod. Okay, now let's continue. So you have Arabia remains in the Uzites. Let me back up. I'm keep getting ahead of myself. So Nabateans, Kedarines, and Hagarenes, right? Now, let me just do this real quick, right? Let's go back to the scriptures, right? Okay, so remember we dealt with Psalms 83, right? So Psalms 83, real quick. Okay, here verse 6 says, the tabernacles of Edom, Ishmael, Moab, and Hagarenes, right? So these people at the time of the captivity of Israel, right? These people were sojourning not in the Caucasus Mountains, brothers and sisters, but in Arabia. That's where they were when they conspired. They was not in the Caucasus Mountains, as the camps try to teach. They were right there. Their tabernacles, right? Because what he said, for they consulted together with one consent. Now, how can they consent with the Edomites if they were up north in the Caucasus Mountains, brothers and sisters? You have to make the Ishmaelites and the Moabites and the Hagarenes sojourn up in the Caucasus Mountains to have a confederacy. You see how many holes that doctrine has? So they couldn't have a confederacy with the Ishmaelites and the Moabites and the Hagarenes if they was in the Caucasus Mountains. So they were in the same land, brothers and sisters, right? So he says here, they consulted with one consent, they confederate against the tabernacles of Edom, Ishmael, Moab, and Hagarites, Gebal, Ammon, Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, right? We're going to cover that in a minute. All right, so there you have it right there. So no, Esau once again debunked, not in the Caucasus Mountains, not the caveman, right? All right. Back here to so Arabia, the whole parts of Arabia, the remains of the Uzites. I keep going past myself. So we covered the Nabateans, Kedarines, and Hagarenes. But they gradually spread themselves at least into the whole parts of Arabia. We just told you that, okay? And the remains of the Uzites, or the Asute, the Buzites, Ammonites, Moabites, Midianites, incorporated with them. Let me read that again. Somebody missed that. The Uzites, or Asute, the Buzites, I knew it now, Buzites, Ammonites, children of Lot, Moabites, children of Lot, Midianites, children of Abraham through Keturah, and they incorporated with them. So Esau didn't incorporate with the Europeans, brother. He incorporated with the Arabs. All right. The ancient Arab or Arabians were gross idolaters. They worshiped the heavenly bodies, the sun, the moon and stars, and number of angels, and men who had been famous in their view. They worship a great number of large stones, right? Man, there goes your stone right there. At first, no more than the places where their ancestors had worshipped the true Elohim. So see Genesis, what is that, 28 and 18. The Persians introduced their Magian religion among part of them. Let me back that up again. So did you know that? So we're talking about all of those incorporated. So you got in the Arabic lands lumped as a title, Arab, are a combination of all the sons of Psalms 83. Right? They're in the land and they group together and then they become idolaters. I wonder who they got that from. So you got Esau, his connection with the idolatrous Canaanites and the Horites, right? They were whores. That's why they call them Horites. They was whores. You know what a whore is? Okay. Now, so it says the Persians introduced their Magian religion among part of them, right? Then the Yahudim who fled from the fury of the Romans proselyte, is that a word? Proselyted. I think he's saying proselytized. Okay, but anyway. The Yahudim who fled from the fury of Romans proselytized a part of them to theirs. So now, wait a minute, hold a second. So you got 70. When did the Israelites flee from the Romans? We learned something. We learned something key right here. In 70 AD, which is commonly taught in the camps, right? Who was proselytized at that time by the Yahudim. Okay? All those people. It says, the Persians introduced their magician religion among them, and the Yahudim who fled from the fury of the Romans proselytized a part of them to theirs. Shaul preached in some part of Arabia, and the 10 tribes are said to have received the Christian faith in that or the following ages, right? So now, that's interesting, right? So Paul, he was witnessing to Edomites. That don't go over good for camp doctrine. Paul, that's the main name. I was gonna Paul, right? Paul was witnessing to Edomites. He was wrong, wasn't he? He called them his kindred after the flesh. And so can't read and explain that one. How is the Edomites Shaul's kinsmen according to the flesh that he's evangelizing, right? Okay. All right. Now, let's continue back here. Let's finish this out. The 10 tribes are said to have received the Christian faith in that of the following ages. Since Muhammad's rise about AD 608, or rather his conquest about 630 AD, they have been generally followers of the Mohammedan delusion. Boom. So all my Hebrew, unconscious Hebrews that are involved in Islam and Muslim, that's where you got it from. Right? So don't come at me with no Arabic and all of that foolishness. The enslavers impose their religion and their language on us, brother, sister. Right? Read it again. It says, about AD 630, they have been generally followers of the Mohammedan delusion, right? To take particular notice of the Arabian tribes or of the barren history of the ancient kingdoms of Hamyar and Yaman, the same as Arabia Felix or Chassan and Hira in Arabia Deserta, or of Hijaz, the original residence of the Ishmaelites, is scarce suited to the nature of this work. Okay. Now, let's see, anything here I want to pull out of this thing real quick. They're talking about Ishmael was a wild, free man. Okay, skip past all of that. Ishmael had 12 sons, fathers each tribe. They dwelt next to their relations, the offsprings of Lot. Okay, that's good stuff right there. Ishmael had 12 sons, fathers after each tribe. Okay, hold a second, brother, sister. I got an emergency real quick. I got to handle.
Sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant. Sons and daughters of the covenant of Yah. We are the sons and daughters of the covenant.
All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Duty calls. Okay, so where was I at? Ishmael, right? So Ishmael had 12 sons, fathers each of a tribe. They dwelt next to their relations. The relations, I like how I said that. They dwelt next to their relations. I don't know what kind of wording he used that, but they dwelt. Where's that at? I lost my place now. They dwelt next to their relations, the offsprings of Lot and of Abraham by Keturah and of Esau, the father of Edom. Say it again. See, so to comprehend the voyage of Esau, you've got to comprehend the starting point. So you can't make Esau's starting point be the Caucasus Mountains when Esau's starting point was not the Caucasus Mountains. What you should pull out of what we shared so far is that Esau's land of nativity was not the Caucasus Mountain. He never even dwelled in the Caucasus Mountains. Not one iota. Not one. All right. So it says he dwelt next to his relations, the offspring of Lot. There goes your Ammon and Moab. And Abraham by Keturah, which is the Midianites, and of Esau, the father of Edom. They gradually increased till they swallow up their neighbors on the north and east, and not also most of the children of Joktan, right? Remember we told you how Joktan was there. Watch this now. The children of Joktan in Arabia Felix. It says, if not. So what did they do? They swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? I couldn't resist that one. Okay. Wait a minute. Leave TD Jakes alone. All right. I gotta get my mind back. Oh my goodness. Have mercy. Okay. Wait a minute. I gotta get myself together. Oh, help me, Father, help me. Okay. All right. Seriousness now. All right. Okay. Wait a minute. With my glasses, I can't see now. Okay. Woo. Okay, where was that? It says they gradually increase. Here we go. They gradually increase till they swallow up their neighbors on the north and east, if not also most of the children of Joktan. So you see that they swallow them up. They swallow them up, right? Okay, now. See, Lion Pride, you making it hard for me, brother. He said this, he know vicious. All right. On the northeast and most of the children of Joktan, right? Felix. Arabia Felix numbers of them began early to trade with Egyptian in spices. Okay. Here's where it takes a turn, brothers and sisters, right? This is some good stuff right here, right? You got to give brother a hand, right? This is some good stuff. I got tons and tons of other stuff, but just in this article right here, it's debunking that Esau the white man doctrine all day long, right? This is one little dictionary of the Holy Bible, right? By I think he was a reverend too, Reverend John Brown, right? 1789. Okay, now he says what? Joktan Arabia, numbering them began early to trade with Mizraimites in spices. Genesis, he gives a reference. What is that? 37 and 27 and 39. Okay. They long after trade. I'm not going to go to those scriptures because it's going to be add to the time. Y'all can look them up. They long after traded with who? The Tyrians in ebony, ivory, precious cloth, spices, jewels, gold, and cattle. Ezekiel 27 and 15, 20, and 21. Now that one I want to read. Okay, because that we're going to see something in there, right? So let's see. Let's go Ezekiel 27 and 15. Let's do it. All right. Let's do it. Ezekiel 27 and 15. Okay. So we go to Ezekiel 27 and 15. Okay. Okay, it's a specific verse I wanted to read in there. But let's just read just a little bit. It's the lament for Tyre. It says, the word of Yah came to me saying, now, son of man, make up a lamentation for Tyrus, right? So we're talking about Tyre. And Tyrus, O thou that art situated at the entry of the sea, which are merchant of the people of many isles. Thus says Master Yah, O Tyrus, thou hast said it, I am perfect in beauty. Thy borders are in the midst of the seas, thy builders have perfected thy beauty. They have made all the ship boards of fire trees and Sinai. They have taken cedars from Lebanon to make masts for thee. Of the oaks of Bashan have they made thy oars, and the company of the Asherites have made thy benches of ivory, brought out of where? The isles of who? Chittim. Right. Fine linen with, so that would be a good opportunity for the Most High to say the Isles of Edom, right? If Edom was the Chittimites, it would be a good place for him to say the Isles of Chittim, aka Edomites. No, let's continue. Fine linen were embroidered from work from Egypt, that which thou spread forth to be thy sail, blue, purple from the Isles of Elisha was that which covered thee. So there goes that. He's talking about the Egypt trade, right? The inhabitants of Zidon, Arvad were thy mariners, thy wise men, O Tyrus, that were in thee were thy pilots. So he says the inhabitants of Zidon, we're going to cover that in a minute, and Arvad were thy mariners. So in other words, they were the ship, they were the crew captains. All right, the ancients of Gebel, it goes Gebel again. We find Gebel in Psalms 83. And the wise men thereof were thy caulkers. All the ships of the sea with their mariners were in thee to occupy thy merchandise. They of Persia, of Lud and Foot were in thy army. All thy men of war, they hanged the shield and helmet in thee. They set forth thy countenance. So who we talking about? We talking about Tyre, right? Okay, let's continue. The men of Arvad with thy army were upon thy walls round about, and the Gamadians were in thy towers. They hanged their shields upon the walls round about. They have made thy beauty perfect. Tarshish, right, was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of all kinds of riches, with silver, iron, tin, lead, they traded in thy fairs. So now you got Tyre having a network with Tarshish, right? That's your sons of Yefeth, all right? Yavon, oh, we got some more sons of Yefeth. Tubal and Meshach were thy merchants. They traded the persons of who? They traded the persons of men. Boom. You see that? So now, in the mix of that, I've read that to show you that in the mix of that, the cousins of Israel began to offer us as slaves to all of those descendants of Yefeth. Yavon, Tubal, Meshach. It's a question people ask, well, how do we end up there? Now you see it now. Called the Arab slave trade, right? All right. He says, they of the house of Togarmah traded in thy fairs with horses and mules. The men of Dedan were thy merchants. Many isles were merchandise of thine hand. They brought thee for present horns of ivory and ebony. Syria was thy merchant by reason of the multitude of wares of thy making. They occupied in affairs with emeralds, purple, broidered work, fine linen, and coral, and agate. Right? So, there goes your purple. But that's another lesson. All right, now we're going to go back into here. We're going to get back to, we're going to try to come on the downside. Okay, now. So we see Arabia Deserta. It says, where was I at here? Right here. Okay, Ezekiel. Okay, now. They long after trading with Tyrenians and ebony, ivory, and precious cloths, spices, jewel, gold, and cattle. He left out the persons of men, slaves, right? Vast numbers of them rove about with their cattle, dwelling in tents without any settled abode. They have been always famed for their lust, robbery, revenge, ravage, and murder, such to use the words of Roman historian. Oh, man. So wait a minute. You mean he's not talking about the white man? Wait a minute. Like to the Gentiles. Look at what he said about them. First, it's called subject, right? The subject of what we're talking about is who? He's talking about Ishmael's sons. They dwelt among Lot, sons, Moab and Ammon, and Esau. So there goes your alliance. There goes your Psalms 83, brothers and sisters, all day long. They got together. And what did he say they did? He said they long after traded with the Tyrians. So who were they trading as slaves, brothers and sisters? Every Hebrew that they could find, every Israelite, descendant of Jacob that they can find, they was trading them with those other nations, in addition to the merchandise, right? Now look, so he says here, all the lions, the conspirators got together, and he said, vast numbers of them roved about with their cattle, dwelling in tents without any settled abode, right? They were mavericks. They have been always famed for their lust, right? Robbery, right? Revenge, ravage, and murders, right? These are not white men. These are black men who were instrumental in selling the Hebrews that was in that area into slavery. All right. In use of the words of the Roman historian, as one would neither with their friends nor his foes, it was therefore the interest of every conqueror to root them out, and it is observable that almost every noted conqueror pushed his conquest to their very borders and yet left them unsubdued. They oppressed, here it is, they oppressed the Hebrews. They did what? They oppressed the Hebrews, but were severely chastised for it by Gideon. In Judges, was that 8:24? They sent presents to Shlomo, but there is no appearance that his father or himself had subdued them, right? Now, let's see. Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of that. Let me see what jumps out at me real quick. You got all this down here, right? Let's read this part right here. Nebuchadnezzar entered and wasted their country, right? He murdered vast numbers of the Dedanites, the Busites, the Temanites, the Sinites, the Catarenes, and the Zamarines, reduced Hazar and other principal cities, and lasting ruin, and carried off their tents and cattle for prey. So That goes your king. You go your Gentile king, Nebuchadnezzar, came for prey. So he did what? What did he do to them? He murdered vast numbers of the Danites, Bushites, Temanites. So we got Israelites being taken into these other lands, and then here we got the king Nebuchadnezzar comes and he does the same thing to them that they did to the Israelites, right? Cyrus seized the whole empire of the Syrians and Chaldeans, and he reduced a body of Arabs about the north point of Arabia Furta. But Herodotus assures us that Darius Hittopos, he said, Histopus, who had further extended the Persian dominion, the Arabians were free from tribute. This people highly provoked the haughty Alexander with some contempt with they had. Okay, so let's go on. We can continue in this article, show you the progressions, right? But what I want to do is, I don't want to stay in one source because I could do the whole lesson from this right here, but I have other references that I want to cover, right? So now, in comprehending the voyages of Esau, we first brought that out. We showed you that Esau was married to Canaanites, Ishmaelites. He sojourned with them. So those people started there. Then they ended up selling the Israelites into captivity land to the sons of Japheth. And they went into those islands. That's why you have what they call Berbers, right? They're a mixture of the sons of Japheth who had raped some of them, their daughters, and had children by them, etc., right? Then you have the king of Nebuchadnezzar coming in and doing the same thing to them. So the Arabs that are in Iran, some of them have actually a DNA mix with those people that the king of Nebuchadnezzar brought to their regions, right? Okay, so during the time of King Dawid, that was before Nebuchadnezzar, Edom was in Egypt and in Syria, right? So you can read that in 1 Kings chapter 11, 17. I'm going to save you some reading, right? 1 Kings chapter 11, verse 17, 25, right? That the seed of Edom was in Egypt and he went to Syria, right? Now, it is a belief that Hyksos that were in Egypt included also Edomites, right? I'm going to read something here from a source. Okay, I'm going to copy this link. You can read this real quick. I'm going to try to move a little faster now. Okay, so we can wrap this baby up. Okay, let's see. All right, let's see. Let's go here. All right, where am I at here? Find myself. I got to find myself. Okay. All right. So we're gonna if you go to that link that I gave you, okay, we're gonna start right here on page 31 where it says the name Hyksos. Okay. There's a lot of good reading there. You can read that. This is a book entitled The History of Etruria. And I got this book from that sister Gates of Holder. Boy, that sister she gets mad props from my brother. I don't give a lot of people props like that go in deep. This goes in deep, man. I'm telling you. So Toda Rabah to a quote Holder, Gates of Holder. All right. So now this is the history of Etruria by Elizabeth Caroline Johnstone Gray. Okay. Now, right here it says the name Hyksos, which is indiscriminately applied to all the strangers who conquered Egypt or settled in it, is proved by Rosalind. Let me blow this up a little bit. I'm straining my eyes to see it. Okay. There we go. The name Hyksos, which is indiscriminately applied to all the strangers who conquered Egypt or settled in it, is proved by Rossellini, volume 1, page 177, to have met strangers and wanderers. Hence, in hatred and contempt, vagabond, wretch, beggar, slave, and indifferent or respect, shepherd kings, Underline that, shepherd kings and their people. So the Hyksos were called shepherd kings, right? Okay, now, thus the wild Scythians and the Arabians, right? And we talk about Arabians, right? So Arabians, the trading Edomites. Wait a minute. The what?
Wait a minute.
The what? The trading Edomites. Who are they trading? Right? Psalms 83. They were trading the Israelites. They got and made an alliance with the descendants of Ishmael, the Moabites, the Ammonites, right? They made a conspiracy and they did what? They traded the souls of men to the Gentiles, not Edomites. So how can Edomites sell if Esau of the so-called white man? Then how did Esau sell his Israelites to his other? It's asinine, brothers and sisters. It's so disgusting. It's sickening, right? So Esau, it says, go back in here. It says Esau, thus the wild Scythians and Arabians, the trading Edomites and Canaanites, the civilized Phoenicians and Assyrians were all Hyksos. Josephus says that the Hyksos were Yehudim. Okay? Now, could it be that he said that because they were the converts that was converted under Hyrcanus during the Maccabees? It's very possible, right? Okay. So when you say Jew, a term, and you use that from a historical dynamic, you have to define who you're speaking in regards to. Okay. Are you speaking about a person who practices Judaism? Or are you talking specifically to a specific tribe of Yehuda? Or are you talking specifically to those that remain in Israel that came back from the captivity? You calling them Jews, right? You have to define which terminology you're using, right? Because context is very important. Okay, now let's go back in. So he says that Josephus says the Hyksos were Jews. Eusebius that they were Phoenicians. We're going to show you some stuff in a second. Africanus that they were Greeks, by which he supposed to mean strangers from Asia Minor, and more modern writers that they were without doubt Arabs and Assyrians. And all these assertions are true, he says. Hyksos, or shepherd race, which invaded Egypt before Abraham, are called by ancient writers Cushim, that the Ethiopians or Babylonians, or Rossellini says that the tradition of ancient Egyptians was that they were a race of giants who lived between the Nile and the Euphrates. Now, this is a singular relationship to the children of Anak and Ben Anak, or Pen Anak, whence the profound Bocart derives the word Phoenic or Phoenician. When the children of Israel were on the borders of Canaan, they could scarcely be persuaded to attack these dreaded men, of whom they had doubtless heard the most fearful tales from their nurseries upward. Okay, that's all I'm gonna read out of that. Okay, now, so interesting, right? So we do know that Edomites went into Egypt, right, as well as the Israelites, and he says he calls them Jews. So they were imposing to be us even then during the days when they were in Egypt, when we were there. Okay. Rudolph Windsor commented from another reference source that said that there was 1 million Yehudim living in Egypt. Were they all from Jacob's seed? No, they were not. Some of them were Edomites. Okay, now let's go back in. What I want to do is let's close this source down and let's go a little further. Okay, so we got the Hyksos. Now, I got another. Okay, let me go to this part right here. this say here? 400 years after. Okay. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on a second, brothers, sisters. Oh, I know where I'm at. I know where I'm at now. Okay, let's see. Okay. Let's go back to the Edomite link. Go back to this one here. And my notes is kind of mushing together. Okay, let's see. Hold on a second. Okay, let's go back to this one here. Okay, so let's see. 400 years. Where was I at here? 400. Okay, here we go. So let's go right by here. Let's start about right here. So we kind of started reading. Let's go up a little bit here. Let's see. No, I don't want to read all that. Let's go right here. Okay, start right. This part right here. It says the Edomite intermarried. This is page 401. It says the Edomites intermarried with the Horites and at length swallow up the people. They're gonna swallow up again, right? See, T.D. Jakes wasn't the first person to say swallowed up. All right. So he said they swallowed up again, right? All right. Edomites intermarried with the Horites at length swallow up that people. So when we read about Esau intermarried the Horite women, the whores, right? And he swallowed up the Horites. In other words, they took over, right? Okay. Swallowed up the Horites at length. Though the Edomites were divinely cursed to be the bond slaves of Satan, how about that? Yet in that early age, while the Hebrews endured the cruelest bondage, they were a potent nation and were governed by a race of 8 kings. Bela, son of Beor, Yobab, son of Zerah, of Basra, Husham, the land of Temani, Hadad, who defeated the Midianites in the country of Moab, and Samlah of Masrekah, Masrekah, and Shaul. How about this? Shaul of Rehoboth. Could this be where Shaul, Paul, got his name from? Is he really an Edomite in disguise? Inquiring minds want to know. Let's continue. Shaul of Rehoboth, Baal Haman, the son of Akbar, Hadar of the city of Pau, but some think these were rather kings of the ancient Horites. That's true. But the time of the Hebrew travels in the wilderness, the Edomites had what? 11 dukes. Right? Timnah, Aliyah, Jethash, Aholabama, Eli, Pinon, Kenaz. Kind of close to Ashkenaz, huh? Teman, Mizbar, Magdiel, and Iran. Oh, is that where the name is that? Could it be that's where the name Iran came from? Could it be that the name Iran came from this son of Esau? Ooh, so you mean to tell me we possibly got some Edomites down there in Iran too? Huh. Interesting, isn't it? Like to the Gentiles, I gave you something to dig into. Now we got look to see where this son Iran disappeared. All right, let's see. But perhaps the fear of the wandering multitude made them again unite under one king. It is probably to this foreign that Shemaiah sent messengers to beg a passage through his country. The passage was denied. Okay, now I want to skip here. Let's go down to, it says, for about 400 years, this is where I was going to read. For about 400 years after we hear nothing of the Edomites. Let me back that up again. For about 400 years after we hear nothing of the Edomites, but it is probable they applied themselves to commerce both by sea and land. So the Edomites, for 400 years, you hear nothing about them. I wonder why. What were they doing in 400 years? 400 years. So a lot was going on. Now watch what he says here, right? Look, pay close attention to this part here, right? Talking about the Voyages of Esau. So he says, for about 400 years after we hear nothing of the Edomites, but it's probable they applied themselves to commerce, both by what? Sea and land. And watch this now. We're going to show you, because we already showed you that the tire, right? I kind of jumped ahead, but now look at this right here. It says, Elath and Zion Geber were their ports of the Red Sea. How about that? So whose ports was the Red Sea? Not the Romans, not the Greeks, but the Edomites. So for 400 years, I'm going to tell you what they was doing for 400 years. They were voyaging the globe, setting up posts all over the place. That's why when the Europeans went to different places, they saw the black people already there. They weren't Israelites. They were Edomites, Phoenician, Edomites, Canaanites, right? That's who they were. All over the globe for 400 years. The so-called white man wasn't voyaging the world on that period of time. They was trying to get civilized. Okay? I'm not trying to be smart or insulting, but the history that they provide to us is called the Dark Ages, right? And then the time of enlightenment. So predating the establishment of the Angles and Saxons and the 10 toes, which we've been talking about for years, which I like. Gates of Holder, boy, she bring it on. I've been telling people that for years. The 10 toes is the Neo-Roman Empire. The Germanic tribes. I've been teaching that since I was back in the 90s. People thought I was talking crazy. Now we got a sister on there who brings it home. She goes and does the research. Boom, bam. I got something on that. Like to the Gentiles. I got a book about the ancient Germany. It's going to open up a can of worms. When we do our series on the Gentiles. All right, now. So, where was I at? So the Edomites, it said, Elath and Zion Geber were their ports on the Red Sea. So just in case you don't know where Elath is, let's see if we can do it for our viewing audience. All right, we're going to show you. All right, I'm going to show you. Okay. Let's do it from, let's see. It's actually called Elat now. Okay. Let's see. Let me try something different here. I'm gonna try to be adventurous. Okay. Just bear with me a second if I can do this. No, why you can't find stuff when you're looking for it? Where is it? Here it is. Earth. That's what I want with Earth, right? Okay. All right. Let's see if I can do this. All right. Let me do that again. I want y'all to see what I just did, right? All right. Look at my screen. All right. Watch this. I ain't gonna do what I just did. Let's see. Hold on a second. Why do you want to do it? Let's try it again. Hold on. Let me do it again. What did I do? Let's see. I like the way it zoomed in. That was kind of cool. Okay. Here we go. It's Google Earth, right? So I want to go to Elat. Put that in there. And it zoomed in. Okay. All right. Anyway, let's zoom out. Okay. So let's see. You see Israel right here on the map? Israel right here. So Elat is right here, or Elath, they called it in the biblical days. Changed the name. Names changed because of Hellenization. Okay. So this was their port. So they were trading. You couldn't go up because the ships couldn't go. So they had to go around the Red Sea, right? So they had to go around. So they would go here and out, right? Cross here. And they created the Suez Canal. So that was the end right there. Then they would have to go to, let's see, where's the Nile River at? Right here. It's right in my face. Wasn't looking. Okay. So that's the Nile right there. You see how the Nile's going down here? That's a long route. Okay. You get my point though. I wanted to show you where Elat was, right? So there you go right there. That's Elat right there, right? Okay, now. So the Edomites transacted trade, right? Hold on, I got my wrong. Okay, here we go. So it says Elath and Ezon Geber were their ports. So Ezon Geber, let's see if I can do that one. Ezon Geber. Oh, that's not it. Wait a minute. That's not it. Hold on a second. Let's see. All right. I had to go to a biblical map. It's not going to show it on this map here. But it's down here in this region. Okay. There where the Saudi Arabian area was. Okay. That was where they transacted trades. Okay. Now, it says Elath, Ezon Geber were their ports on the Red Sea. In the height of their prosperity, they gave some umbrage to Dawid. He turned his victorious arms against them. 18,000 were slain in the valley of Salt, and Jobab ravaged the country. So Dawid killed 18,000, right? So how does Dawid kill all these males, right, we find in First Samuel, I think it says he killed all the males in Edom. Okay. Okay, this is what I want. Okay, I want to read this right here real quick. Okay. So this is 2 Samuel. Let's start at verse 3. It says, Dawid smote Hadad Ezer, the son of Rehoboam, king of Zobah, as he went to recover his border of the river Euphrates. Dawid took from him 1,000 chariots and 7,000 horsemen and 20,000 footmen. And Dawid hauled all the chariot horses, but reserved them for 100 chariots. And when the Syrians of Damascus came to succor Hadad Ezer, there goes that Edomite, king of Zobah, Dawid slew of the Syrians 22,000 men. Dawid put garrisons in Syria. So that's where Edomites was. Remember I told you that, right? Some of them fled to Syria and some of them fled to Egypt, right? Okay. He put garrisons in Syria of Damascus, and the Syrians became servants to Dawid and brought gifts. And Yah preserved Dawid whithersoever he went. And Dawid took the shields of gold that were on the service of Hadad Ezer and brought them to Jerusalem. Okay, now I missed the part about the Edomites. Okay, where? Here we go. Verse 14. It says, and Dawid got him a name when he returned from smiting the Syrians in the valley of Salt, being 18,000 men. Right? See that? There it is, 18,000 men. He put garrisons in Edom throughout all Edom. Put he garrisons in all they of Edom became Dawid's servants, and Yah prospered Dawid whithersoever he went. So he put garrisons there. Now the part about the males, you got to go to 1 Kings, right? First King. Let me go to First King. I know where it is. I don't have to search it. Okay, go to 1 Kings chapter 11, right? And let's see. Here we go, right here. Okay. It says, verse 14. And Yah stirred up an adversary to Shalomo, Hadad, the Edomite. He was of the king's seed in Edom. For it came to pass when Dawid was in Edom that Joab, the captain of the host, was going up to bury the slain, after he had smitten every male in Edom. Right there. He had smitten every male in Edom, right? So how could they go to the Caucasus Mountain if Dawid smote all of them, the males? Only a remnant escaped. So you want me to believe that one man can form a whole nation of people that sojourn in one land? That's laughable, right? So he spent all the males in Edom. Watch this now, for 6 months, right? Joab remained there with Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. Just in case you missed it. See? He remained with all Israel until he had cut off every male in Edom. So there was not a remnant left. Okay? There was only a remnant. Watch this now. Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites. Because remember, what I want you to take away is this. All the Edomites wasn't in Edom at this time, but those ones that was there were killed. Follow what I'm saying? So now, it says, this Hadad fled, he and certain Edomites. See, that lets you know there were other Edomites somewhere else. He fled, he and certain Edomites of his father's servants with him to go into Egypt, Hadad being a little child, right? And they rose out of Midian and came to Paran, and they took men with them out of Paran, and they came to where? To Egypt, unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him a house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. Look at that. Look at that. Huh? Look, read it again. Look. So those of you that say, brother, you're not reading from scriptures. I'm reading it right now. We always read from the scriptures, but we always say, see, this is a more that go outside the box. Okay, now all this is connecting, right? So he says that they rose out of Midian, right? We just showed you in the secular source that the Esau was down there in Midian. They were all dwelling together in that same land, right? So he rose out of Midian, came to Paran, and took men out of Paran. And they came to Egypt, unto Pharaoh, king of Egypt, which gave him a house and appointed him victuals and gave him land. Right? Gave him land, gave him a house and gave him land in what? In Egypt, not the Caucasus Mountains. He gave him land in Egypt, brother. Not the Caucasus Mountains, Bishop. In Egypt. Amongst who? The Hamitic people. Okay, silly rabbit. Now, he gave him land. Where was that at? Lost my place here. Oh, here we go. It said, gave him land. And Hadad found great favor in the sight of Pharaoh, so that he gave him to wife the sister of his own wife, the sister of Taphanes, the queen. Boom. See, we just putting this doctrine further. We submerging this doctrine further and further into the Atlantic Ocean, called the Ethiopian Sea, right? So Esau now has an Egyptian wife, in addition to one of his descendants, I should say, in addition to his maternal mothers, a descendant of Ishmael, who was his great grandfather, however many greats he was, of Hadad. Okay? So now Hadad marries an Egyptian. So how in Yah's green earth are they white? I think we fell into another hole, right? All right. Now, so we don't have to read no further than that. I pulled that out because I wanted to show you that, right? So he in Egypt now. He has land in Egypt, right? He has a wife in Egypt. So what did he do while he was there? He became a king in Egypt. He went back to the land, right? But I guarantee you he had some seed there that remained, that didn't go with him, that maybe went back, right? Posing as Egyptians, Hebrew/Egyptians, Edomite Egyptians, right? How about that? All right, so back in here, so it says we're back now in the Dictionary of the Holy Bible under Edom. It says here, so Ezon, Geber were their ports of the Red Sea. In the height of their prosperity, they gave some umbrage to Dawid. He turned his victorious arms against them. 18,000 were slain, and Saul of Jobab ravaged the country till he had scarce left alive any of the males, and reduced the whole kingdom under the Hebrew yoke. There you go. So that's a fulfillment of prophecy, because remember the vision when Esau came back and asked Isaac, his father, to bless me. He said, I've made him your Lord. There it is, right there. So he was reduced, seems to have dominion was quickly reduced by Yehudim, and Hadad himself, perhaps obliged to flee to Syria. The Edomites were governed by the deputies under the kings of Yehuda. Their troops affiliate Jehoshaphat and Yoram against the Moabites. It seems the Moabites soon after invaded their country and burnt the bones of their king unto ashes. They joined in the grand alliance against Jehoshaphat, but were murdered by the allies of the Moabites and Ammonites. Okay, now it says here, now this is another some of the prophecies. It said after they had been 150 years subjected by the Hebrews, they threw off the yoke and set up a king of their own. Jeroboam, the king of Yehuda, attempted to reduce them, but could not effect, though he routed their troops with great slaughter. All right. So you go on and on and on and on and on, and there goes the Assyrians, right? Assyrians under Sennacherib or his son Esarhaddon terribly wasted the country of Edom and ruined Basra, the capital. When the Chaldeans besieged Jerusalem, the Edomites joined them and excited them utterly to rage the city and temple. But scarce had 5 years elapsed when the Chaldeans ravaged their country, and this of some other disaster about this time rendered a desolate wilderness. Okay, so now there's more in that. I'm not going to read the rest of that. Maybe I'll come back and read that part there, but let's go further because I want to go some other sources that I have here before we wrap it up. Okay, so we dealt with that. Now we talked about the lands that Esau settled in, right? We talked about the Nabateans. Okay, now I want to go to another source. We read this before in a previous session. We're going to go and read this here. And this is chronology of ancient kings, right? So we're talking about the voyages of Esau, right? Okay, so we're gonna get deep now in the next few minutes, right? So put this in your favorites. Bookmark this here. I messed up here. Let's see. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on a second. I lost my. Oh, here it is right here. I couldn't find my restream. All right, now let's see. So let's see. Yeah, that's good stuff there. Like said, it gets really silly when you see how many of us had Hamite mothers. For real. Okay, now here we go. Let's go back in here. Okay. What I want to do is give you this link here. I think I just gave it to you, right? Yeah. Let's go to Sir Isaac Newton's of chronology of ancient chronology of ancient kingdoms, right? This is page 12. He says the Edomites, okay, here's where you want to take your pen and pad out right here, and please pass this forward to the camps. I have another source that's older than this one, but this one here is good enough right here. Okay, the Edomites are conquered and dispersed by David. Some of them fly into Egypt. So we covered Egypt, right? Some of them flew into Egypt. Some of them went to Egypt with their young king Hadad. So we should be clear by now that some of the Edomites went to Egypt and they remained. Okay, because Esau had a land, right? Esau had a wife, right? He had family, right? You know how people do. Some people move away and some people come back. You know, you grew up in your town. I grew up in the Dukes of Hazzard County, Maryland. I left and went to Philly and Chicago and New York and DC. And now I'm back to the Dukes of Hazzard County. I'm back home. So people do it. Right? Some people don't come back home. They stay out there and make a new life, right? So Esau was given a land in Egypt by the king, by the Pharaoh and the Pharaoh's daughter. So you know he had family there. He had stock there. So some Edomites remained, and some of them Edomites, we read in another source in the previous lesson, that those same people pushed down below the Sahara. And they live in African tribes and African towns. And in their history, they say that they are Hyksos. We shared that in another, I have to dig it out, find the lesson where I pull the resources out, receipts. Okay. Now, back in. So they fled, some of them fled to Egypt. Others fly to the Persian Gulf with their commander Onus. So now you got Edomites that went to Egypt, and now you got other Edomites that flew into the Persian Gulf. Let's see if I can do this real quick. I'm going to try to do it right this time. Okay, we're going to go here. Let's do it with me. We're going to go here. I'm going to show you how to do it. So you go to your Google account, and then you can go down here to where it says Earth, right? Click that Earth button. Google Earth comes up. Isn't that wonderful? Now, what do we say? Persian Gulf, or the Arabian Sea. Let's click. Watch it zoom in. Boom, there it goes. Oh, there you go. How about that? Nice, isn't it? Look. And it doesn't lose its quality, so you can take a trip, right? So some of these people down here, how about that? Basra. I wonder if that's the Edomite capital, right? Amaria, right? Huh. Interesting, right? Al-Shukuth, right? How about that? So you got some Edomites that's down there. So what did he say? He said some of them fled into the Persian Gulf with their commander Onus. Right? So we're talking about Esau's voyages. So Esau, we got one went to Egypt. We got Esau 2 went to the Persian Gulf area. So you got some Edomites that are still there today under the label of Arabs. Some of your Iranians are possibly Edomite stock. Are you learning something today?
You're going to learn today.
They're not European Caucasians, brother. Now let's go further. So they fly into Egypt, others into the Persian Gulf by the commander Onus, and others from the Red Sea to the coast of the Mediterranean, right? And fortify Azov against Dawid and take Zidon, and the Zidonians who fled from them build Tyre. So they went to Zidonians, right? So let's go back to the map. I think it's spelled Sidon now. I think. Let's see. There you go. Went right in on it, didn't it? How about that? So there you go. So this is far from Rome, isn't it? So you want to make Esau be the Romans, right? Based off of Jewish Talmudists, when the book in historical references is telling us where they went, right? Sidon, right? They pushed out Sidon, right? They pushed out Sidon, and the Sidon fled from them, and they went to Tyre, right? Okay. Tyre is sore, right? I think it's spelled sore. So let's go back in here. Okay. I don't think the Tyre's gonna come up. Okay, oh, it did. There you go. How about that? How about that? So where's citing that? Okay. So you can see this is Lebanon, right? This is the coast. Now, incidentally, when I went to Israel, I went over here and they got that place on lockdown. I drove by with my camera and I was filming, and the guard looked at me. He went, "Don't do that." he had his machine gun, and I was like, "Well, brother, you gotta tell me twice, because I ain't want to be in the news. Guy took a machine gun out, shot me up." He went like that. I said, "That's the end of the recording." So he possibly could have been an Edomite, right? Because it says to go back in here. It says, what did it say? They fled to the coast of the Mediterranean. So let's do this here, right? Let's go back to my maps again, and let's do Mediterranean. Let's see, Mediterranean Sea. Let's do that. Okay, looks good right here. All right. So this is the Mediterranean Sea right here. Oh, look at how it's turning around. I like that. Oh, that's cool. So now the Mediterranean Sea, right? It says they fled and went to the Mediterranean, right? So they were all up in here, all around here, the islands and everything, right? Where they went. Okay, so some of them. So question you might ask is it possible that some of Esau's seed could have been intermingled with some of the Roman Italian people? Yes, possible, right? Not all, but some, okay? That's the thing. You can't make a whole thing all inclusive, right? You can't make everybody be an Edomite. I believe, and I've always believed, that there are certain elite people that are Edomite seed that run things in the world. I believe that. Okay. So you can't look at the physical appearance. But as a whole, you can't make every person that look like those people Edomites. Right? That's the falseness of that teaching, right? So now, all so-called white people are not Esau. Does Esau have some people that look white? Absolutely. Okay. Now, when it said Esau's seed is spoiled, is that what that means? All right. Now, let's go back. So we're coming up to a climax here. So Esau, some of them fled to the Red Sea, to the Mediterranean, to fortify Azov against Dawid and Zidon. And the Zidonians fled and went to Tyre, right? That's Lebanon, and Aradus. So Tyre, so remember now, you're going to have this combination look now, because you're going to have, because of the voyages of the other sons of Japheth, who took over, became territorial. Some of them actually intermixed with some of the Arabic stock, including the Edomites. So you have a mixture, right? Okay, now. So they went to Tyre and Aradus. Now I'm gonna just say, when I went to Israel, I went to that region, Canaan and all that. Those people look like Mexicans. So to the 12 tribes, guys, them people that you calling Israelites from Mexico, they could be Edomites too. You have to revise that chart again, because the people you call your brother, you say you hate Edom, you embracing an Edomite and don't even know it. All right, let's go back in now. Okay, so This says that they built Tyre and Aridus to make Abibalus king of Tyre. Okay, Abibalus. Was he an Edomite? I think he was. Okay. These Edomites, right? Read that again. These Edomites, for some reason or another, I'm in the way. That's because, oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'm messing up here. Good gravy. I messed up. How do I go back? Okay, wait a minute, hold on. Good gravy. I done messed myself up. Hold on. I gotta get myself back. Okay, where was I here? Let's go back here. I got the wrong page. Let's just paste the link back in. Okay. Now, where was I at? Okay. So, these Edomites carry to all places their arts and sciences, amongst which were the navigation. So, read that again. These Edomites, let's bring it up so you can see over my head. Okay, there we go. We're right here. These Edomites who fled to the Mediterranean, where did they flee? Where did they flee? They fled to the Mediterranean. So some of your Spanish explorers, there goes your Edomites right there. Huh?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
It's right there. So the explorers, right? There goes your Edomites. When you find the explorers, the ones that of the elite status, the ones that own the slave ships, the ones that got the money, there go your Edomites, right? Isn't it? All right, now, so these Edomites who fled to the Mediterranean, translating the word Etria into that of Phoenicia. Read that again. Translating the word Eritrea. Isn't that a country? Huh? Isn't there a country called Eritrea in Africa? So you got some Edomites in Eritrea. Right?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
You got some Edomites in Eritrea. Huh? How about that? You call them Hamites. See, what you call a Hamite just might be an Edomite, brother. What you call a Mexican, and I learned this firsthand from an Arab when I was in Israel. I said to him, it was a man in the store. He was an Arab, kind of looked Mexican, kind of looked Spanish a little bit. I said, there's a similarity between the Arabs and the Mexicans. You know what he said to me? I got it on tape. He said, they're all Arabs. Wait a minute. I said,
Wait a minute.
they what? He said, they're all Arabs. I said, really? He said, yeah. He said, the Mexican. He said, they left from here and voyaged to the west. He was telling me history. This was back in 2009. I was like, shut your mouth. I mean, they had the build like the Mexicans, the sisters was thick, right? The brothers was acting like they was from the hood and they was bouncing to the music. I said, I swear I'm in Mexico, right? He said, they're Arabs. And now I'm looking and reading in this reference, and he says that they fled to the Mediterranean and they transported themselves, and their arts went everywhere. Amazing, right? Okay. He said the Edomites who fled to the Mediterranean, translating the word Eritrea into the Phoenician, give the name of Phoenicians to themselves. Oh, so wait a minute. I always wondered, where did the Phoenicians come from? Because Phoenicia is not one of the sons of Ham. So I always wondered, where did the people Phoenicians come from? And how is it that they have such a strong connection in the language between them and the Hebrew? And you know what the answer is? The Hebrew, the Edomites, right? The Edomites. So your 12 tribes, Mexicans, are very likely your brother Esau.
You in danger, girl.
Let's go back in. All right. So it says they gave the name Phoenicians to themselves, and that of Phoenicia to all the sea coast of Palestine. All right. See that? So all the coast of Palestine. Now I got to show you something real quick, right? All right, let's do this here. Y'all know where I'm going with that. Okay. Why I can't find it here? I got the wrong version. Okay, here we go, right here. Okay, here we go. It says, for behold, this is Joel chapter 3. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Yehuda and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and bring them down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, and will judge them for my people and for my heritage, Israel, whom they have given visas and passes and gave them a land in 1948. Right? Is that what it says? Huh? Did I miss something?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
So he says, for my people, my heritage, whom you have scattered among the nations and parted my land. And what now he goes and says, and they have cast lots. Could somebody please show me the images of lots being cast for the 1948 people? He said, they have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. And right there, I will put this clip of Henry Louis Gates in his documentary series called African Wonders, where he goes to the slave castle and he reaches down in the sand and he pulls up glass, cut pieces of glass. He He asked the tour guide, "What is this?" And the tour guide says, "They would sell, right? They would sell a boy for a harlot and a girl for a bottle of wine." And Henry Louis Gates says, "Wine?" He said, wine for people." And I immediately said, wow, he's identifying Joel 3, which says, "They have cast lots for my people and have given a boy for a harlot and sold a girl for wine that they might drink. Yes, what have you to do with me, O Tyre, Sidon, and all the coast of Palestine?" Go. This. Who sold the Hebrews? Tyre. Right? Who's Tyre? The Canaanites. They did what? They built Tyre. When Edomites came and took over Sidon, they built Tyre. So who was Tyre? Canaanites. Who is Sidon? Edomites. Who is the coast of Palestine? Edomites. So who is Esau? Esau is Zidon, Palestines, Arabs, Eritreans, North Africans, indigenous Americans, etc. A few smidgens of individual persons in the global elite, but not whole nations of so-called white people. Right? Now, they're the ones that call the shots. Now, let's see where we at here. I'm going to take some questions after that. I'm just about done. All right. So let's go back in here and wrap this baby up. Okay, so, and hence came the traditions of the Persians and of the Phoenicians themselves mentioned by Herodotus, that the Phoenicians came originally from the Red Sea and presently undertook long voyages on the Mediterranean. Bam! I rest my case. So next time somebody asks you the foolish question, if the so-called white man is not Esau, then who is Esau? Point him to this video. Because we just told you. We didn't told you. Right? Now, I have more, but I don't need to go any further. I don't need to go any further. Right? I ain't gonna do it. I got about 5 more pages left. Which I'm not gonna do. All right. I'm looking at my notes. Maybe 4 pages left. I'm gonna end it right there. Okay. The rest of the information that I have is gonna be in my book. Okay. When will the book be finished? I haven't had time to, because I've been working and been sick and all of that, so I haven't had time to just kind of concentrate on finalizing it. So my notes is there. I just got to compile them into those chapters, and then it'll be ready. So prayerfully, sometime by the end of the summer, it should be available in stores. Okay. And I'm pushing myself because I gotta, in the process of that, I gotta find time where I can actually concentrate to just solidly focus on finishing it, right? So prayerfully, you got something out of that. I'm going to now at this time look and see if there's any questions or comments. Anybody have any questions, comments, rebukes? Let's see real quick. Let me skim through here, see what jumps out at me. During the apocryphal times. Let's see. Mm-hmm. Let y'all see what I'm looking at here. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful color blue right there? Let's see. It's pure ignorance for a Hebrew to be anti-Africa or anti-Afro-Arabian. I don't know who does that. I mean, not here. I mean, my circle. Maybe referring that to the camps. Let's see, yeah, let's see. I remember a video from you. Oh, you remember the video I did? Yeah. Did you play the show? Yeah, I played the show part. I sure did. Right. That was the video. And I don't know if I uploaded. Did I upload that video where the guy said they were all Arabs? I have to look and see. I might have uploaded it. Some of the one Westers are probably married to Edomite women and don't know it. Yep, I agree. Tresky, my fellow diehard Cowboys fan. Good to see you, my brother. Pray all is well with you and Coach Cynthia. So I guess I can't just say Esau is teaming in D-Dan like I said in my old lesson. No, because Esau's seed is spoiled. I don't know. That what the one camper say. I don't think they know what that means when they say that. Okay. So yeah, Esau had many sons and daughters. As a matter of fact, like I said, some of the Edomite daughters, right? As a matter of fact, if you look at First Kings, when Shlomo died, it tells you that he had Edomite daughters. Let's see. Let's see First Kings real quick. First Kings 11. Here you go. So Solomon, Shlomo was the one that was instrumental in empowering our oppressors to enslave us. So it says King Shlomo loved many strange women together with the daughters of Pharaoh, women of Moabites, so Ammonites, Edomites, Zidonians, and Hittites. So these are the people that. So apparently, if he loved these women that were Edomites, then what does that say? There were Edomites in the land, right?
What you bringing to the table, brother?
Not they weren't in Europe by this time. They weren't in the Caucasus Mountains by that time. Okay. Yeah, that Iran thing was quite a revelation, wasn't it? How about that, Iran? There's a book called Arabia Felix by Bertram Thomas. That's a good source to read. Let me see. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can. Bertram Thomas. Let's make this smaller here. Let's see something. Right here. Okay. Archive.org. Bertram. Okay, yeah, Arabia Felix, right? He has one called Arabia Felix. That's this one here. It's just good stuff in this one here. Matter of fact, this is one that I'm going to make references from in the book. So that's Arabia Felix. I'll give you that link there. Let's see. Let's bring this down here. That's Arabia Felix. Okay. Let's see. Hold on. That's Arabia Felix. And then you have another one he did called The Arabs. Let's see if I can find that for you. The Arabs. I have the copy on my computer, but I'm trying to do this for you. The Arabs. Oh, it came up right here. There it is right there. That's the Arabs. That's a small version. I mean, small print. But there it is. I'll give you the link here. That's the Arabs. That's another good book. It's written in 1937. That's the Arabs, right? Okay. Take that and run with that. All right. I have another book where actually it actually shows you images. I think the Arabs have images in it too. I want to say. I think. Let me see. Hold on, let me go back to my comments here. Remind me, because I want to give you another book, which is good, another reference, right? It shows you actually pictures of people. It shows you Negroes in Arabia, right? Okay. So let's see where we at here. Where did I leave off at? Qusir al-Qadim, Qusir Qaidam Archaeological, Ifras data 1999, Peacock, those Red Sea ports exist, Timma, Arabia, Hijaz, into Wadi, Hamamat, Nubian, Sudan, Egypt, Yup. Very good. Okay. If the camps get the doctrine right, they would be at 70%. Okay, I read that one right there. I read that. They would need to stop the Hamite hate. That's right. That's really silly. Okay, right. I read that one there. It's pure English and Hebrew and okay, I read that one. I used to be one of those, but y'all opened my eyes to unfair treatment of the sons and daughters of Ham. Yeah, right. I remember a video from, right, okay, I read that one right there. Tried to tell them Shabbat Shalom, headed to the assembly. Good to see my brother Dallas. Okay, so some of the One West campers are probably married to Edomites. Okay, I'm back where I was now. So I guess I can't say, okay, brother, channel grow. So when you say you're okay helping people's channels grow, what do you mean? What do I mean? I mean, just, so I'm not that big. I mean, I got 3,000 in the low 3,000s as far as subscribers. So on average, I may get from between 100 to 500 hits on a video, which is, but I'm shadow banned. But helping, meaning that anything I can do to help you, if you want to bring me on you want to do a live interview or something like that, you can set it up and so that people can actually, so it can hit the algorithms, right? That's usually how you build your channel. You build it off of somebody else's name sometimes, because sometimes people can't find you, or you do topics that are catchy topics that people want to talk about. Okay, you reached 100 messages today. Stay strong, line process. I'm chopping at the bit. And what? I am chopping at the bit for your book, right? If we are only married in Esau sports, see that we are loving our brother. Yep. What's our original language is called? Just curious. Our original language, according to Jubilees, is Ibri. It said when he opened up Abraham's ears, he spoke to him in the language of Ibri, the language of creation. So that's found in the book of Jubilees. Okay. You can actually Google that and it'll pop up somewhere. It'll pop up in your search engine. Okay. Light says if even if we knew they were Esau and they are in the covenant, you still good to go. That's right. Thanks. He said, why I asked is because it said that paleo is a corrupt word. Uh-huh. Well, it's that paleo, right? Isn't it a Greek word? I think that's a Greek word. Okay. Let me see. Let's see if I can let me see if I can find this other book that I want to share with you, and then I'm gonna wrap it up for today. Let's see. What time is it? Right at the 12 o'clock mark. So we did pretty good considering me and my condition. I got a birthday coming up next month. I'll be another year older. Why can't we get younger each year instead of get older? Okay. Let's do a countdown instead of a count up. Okay, let's see. Now, let's see if I can find this for you, my brother. Let's see. Let's go. That's the Arabs. You got the Arabs book. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if this is Arabia. This is the one I want. That's not the one. Okay, this is a book called Arabs of Central Iraq, Their History, Ethnology, and Physical Characters. This is a real good one. This actually has pictures. You'll love this one. You'll love this one here. Check that out and tell me what you think about it. But that page, that actual page that it opens up to a page like this here, where it shows you their pictures, but you have to download it and then use your flip the screen so you can actually see the pictures. But you got pages of Arab people, what they look like. Right. Interesting. That's a good book. He's got all kinds of and some of them, if you put on, okay, that's all I'm gonna do. But some of them, if you put on clothes like us, they look like us. When I went to Israel and I saw a brother looked like me, he was up in Tiberias area where the River Jordan is. And he looked at me, and I looked at him. He looked at me, and I looked at him, and he started speaking this ancient tongue. And he just kept smiling. He just smiled, looked at me, smiled. He's like, "You look like one of us." I'll never forget that. And we sat there and had a conversation, and I couldn't speak his language. He could speak mine, but we did sign language. I was looking for the River Jordan. He told me how to get there, and we just did sign language. I went like this. And I was like, I'm looking for, and he was like, He gave me sign language, and I found the River Jordan. It's like, wow. I would have had to record that conversation because it was kind of interesting. We had sign language, and he knew what I was saying. He knew what I was looking for. He looked at me like, he saw my garbs on. He was like, you look like one of mine, right? And he was dressed in his white garbs he had on, and he was in the garden, man in his garden. And I pulled over and I stopped. Because a lot of people in Israel speak English. And I thought he was an English-speaking person, but no, he wasn't. This one wasn't. He spoke an old language. He wasn't even speaking Yiddish. He was speaking an old language. And it wasn't Arabic either. It was an old language. I was like, man, what is this guy saying? Right? Okay. Brothers and sisters, I feel a little better now. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off. You all have a blessed Shabbat. Join in with the live streams. Your other brothers and sisters that's in this walk, that's sharing what the Most High gave them to share, joining with them as we prepare to go into the celebration of Pesach. Let's all keep everyone in prayer and let the prayer for the peace of Yah that passes all comprehension keep our hearts and minds through Yahshua the Messiah. We praise the Most High for all you that joined today. We Father, thank and praise you. We pray that the peace that passes all comprehension keep our hearts and minds through Yahshua the Messiah till we meet again. We say hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Torah Yah, amen. We'll see you all next Shabbat. Shabbat shalom.